Have you ever felt like you were facing forces far greater than yourself, as if standing in the eye of an unending storm? Sometimes, those moments aren't just coincidence, they are proof that you are chosen, marked by a purpose so profound that many cannot comprehend it. And that mark, my friend, it unsettles people. Those who tried to harm you underestimated something crucial: you are not alone. Every blow you endured, every cruel word thrown at you, wasn't just noticed by you, it was seen by a divine force that never fails. While they believed they were breaking you, they were unknowingly igniting a fire that only you are meant to carry. Get ready, because this isn't just a story of survival. It's a journey of divine justice, of rebirth, and of victory over those who dared to challenge a higher purpose. And remember, what's ahead will be so transformative that no one will be able to ignore your light. If you're ready to understand why nothing can stop someone who is chosen, stay with me. The best is yet to come. You are not ordinary, you are chosen. Being chosen means carrying a mark that few understand but everyone notices. It's no surprise that your presence unsettles others, your success draws stares, and even your silence can provoke discomfort. The energy you carry is not ordinary, it's unique, shaped by divine forces that have placed you exactly where you're meant to be. And that, inevitably, stirs envy. The truth is, you're not on anyone's path by accident. Your life, your struggles, your victories, all of it is part of a greater plan, a tapestry woven long before you understood your own power. And here lies the problem for others: your existence is a living reminder of something greater, something they cannot grasp. When someone tries to tear you down, they're not just fighting against you, they're battling the divine purpose that guides you. Think of yourself as a mirror. The light you reflect isn't yours alone, it's the light of the purpose that dwells within you. But when that light meets someone who lives in darkness, it exposes everything they'd rather hide. And that's where the conflict begins. Not because you've done something wrong, but because your very existence forces others to confront their own flaws and insecurities. When these people rise against you, they are challenging something they cannot understand. They may see your kindness as weakness, your patience as passivity, or your faith as naivety. But what they fail to realize is that every act against you is like throwing stones into a calm lake. The ripples may seem small at first, but they grow, and the impact is inevitable. There is a force that protects you, even when it feels like you're standing alone. It's a force that turns attacks into lessons, pain into growth, and challenges into victories. Every obstacle they place in your way becomes a bridge to something greater. And the most incredible part: you don't even need to fight for justice, it happens on its own. Because when someone challenges a chosen one, they're not just challenging the chosen, they're challenging the one who chose them. If there's one thing you need to remember, it's this: the fact that you're being tested is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It's proof that there is something in you worth fighting for, or, for many, something they wish they could destroy because they can't understand it. And this is where everything begins to shift. While they focus on tearing you down, you are being prepared for something much greater. Let's explore how their pride, the very thing that drives their attacks, becomes the foundation of your rise. The pride and fall of your enemies. Pride is like a sweet poison, those who drink it often don't realize the damage it's causing until it's too late. And this is exactly what happens to those who rise against you. They are so blinded by their own arrogance, so convinced of their invincibility, that they ignore every warning sign around them, even the ones sent by life itself. What drives these people? More often than not, it's a mix of envy and insecurity. They look at you and see something they can't have: your inner strength, your faith, your peace. And that eats away at them, pushing them to attack, mock, or try to manipulate you. But what they fail to understand is that every act of malice is a rope they're tying around their own future. Their arrogance, the belief that they can destroy you, is the seed of their downfall. It's like dancing on a volcano, convinced it will never erupt. But nature has its own laws, just as the universe does. What's done with the intention to harm a chosen one inevitably returns, like a boomerang, with a force no one can escape. Pride makes them mistake patience for weakness. When you don't immediately react to their attacks, they believe they've won. They laugh, feel superior, and keep pouring fuel on the fire. But what they don't realize is that your patience is not passivity, it's strategy. It's the quiet before a storm that they never see coming. Remember, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. This isn't just a phrase, it's a universal law. And when someone challenges a chosen one, someone protected by the divine, that fall becomes inevitable. What starts as small cracks in their lives, failing relationships, lost opportunities, a persistent emptiness, soon turns into a complete collapse. The most remarkable part is how their fall is mirrored by your rise. While they struggle in the traps they've set for themselves, you grow, strengthen, and ascend. The universe not only corrects injustices, it uses those moments to prepare you for something even greater. What they meant to destroy you becomes the very foundation of your success. With every act of pride, they distance themselves further from what truly matters. And in the end, what they thought was a battle against you reveals itself as a fight against their own destiny. Meanwhile, the fire they tried to ignite against you doesn't consume you, it empowers you. How the flames they meant to destroy you with become the fire that forges your inner strength. Transforming the fire of attack into inner strength. There's something powerful about watching the universe transform negative intentions into fuel for a chosen one's evolution. The fire that was lit against you wasn't capable of consuming you, it became the heat that shaped, strengthened, and revealed your truest essence. It's like refining gold, extreme heat doesn't destroy it, it removes impurities and increases its value. When attacks come, the intent is clear, to break you, silence you, and make you doubt your worth. But what these people don't realize is that in their attempts to destroy you, they are helping you awaken strengths you didn't even know you had. It's almost ironic, every insult, every cruel word, is like a hammer striking a blade, making it sharper with each blow. Have you ever considered that the pain you've endured wasn't a sign of defeat but an opportunity for growth? Adversity has a way of revealing who we truly are. It's in the most challenging moments that we discover our reserves of strength, patience, and courage. And as a chosen one, you possess something even more extraordinary, a connection to the divine that transforms even the greatest difficulties into stepping stones toward your destiny. This transformation is visible. First, you start to notice that what seemed like destructive attacks actually open doors for deeper reflection. The pain becomes wisdom. Then, you realize that the limits that once held you back, fear, insecurity, doubt, begin to dissolve. The flames that were meant to burn you away incinerate those barriers, leaving space for you to thrive in a way you never imagined. Take the example of the phoenix, the mythical bird that rises from its own ashes. It doesn't fear the fire because it knows it's part of the process of renewal. In the same way, you didn't just survive the hardships, you emerged stronger, more confident, and more connected to who you truly are. What often feels like an ending is, in reality, a beginning. And every challenge placed in your path becomes part of a larger story, a story of transformation and triumph that inspires not only you but also those around you. But this inner strength doesn't come from fire alone. It also comes from silence, patience, and trust in something greater. That silence, so often underestimated, is actually one of the most powerful weapons of a chosen one. Silence as a powerful weapon. Silence is something many people misunderstand. To those full of pride, silence looks like weakness, submission, or even defeat. But for a chosen one, silence is strategy, it's strength in its purest form. It carries something words cannot express, trust in divine justice to act at the perfect moment. While others speak, attack, and act impulsively, you choose calm, not because you don't know what to do, but because you understand that not every battle requires your own hands. There is a higher force that sees and acts on your behalf, in its own time and with precision that no one can resist. This silence is like the stillness before a storm. It isn't empty, it's filled with energy, preparation, and patience. While your enemies interpret your calm as a sign of their victory, they are, in reality, digging their own pit. Every insult, every trap, every malicious plan only adds to the weight that will inevitably fall back on them. But what does silence do for you? It gives you space to observe, to learn, and to grow. Instead of reacting impulsively, you connect with your purpose and the wisdom within you. This pause allows you to see the situation with clarity, free from the distractions of anger or fear. More importantly, silence reveals. It exposes the true nature of those who attack you. Unbeknownst to them, these individuals end up showing their intentions, their weaknesses, and often their insecurities. While they focus on tearing you down, they inadvertently reveal their true selves, and that's something they can't hide for long. Trusting in silence isn't easy. It requires courage to resist the urge to react, strength to endure what feels unfair, and, above all, faith in the greater plan unfolding for you. But the reward is unparalleled. Divine justice is deliberate, and its power doesn't rely on haste. When the silence is finally broken, it isn't by your words. It's in the lives of those who tried to harm you. That's when you begin to see the consequences unfold, not because you retaliated, but because the universal balance has been restored. So, never underestimate the power of silence. It isn't empty, it's a declaration of trust. Now we'll explore how divine justice always arrives, even when it seems delayed. Divine justice is inevitable. Divine justice operates on its own timeline, often different from what we expect. While human justice can be flawed, delayed, or manipulated, divine justice is precise, relentless, and unavoidable. It doesn't rely on appearances or the intentions others try to hide. It sees everything, records everything, and acts at the perfect moment, neither too early nor too late. When someone chooses to act against a chosen one, they're not just harming a person. They're going against a much larger plan, a divine plan. And this never goes unnoticed. Every cruel word, every lie, every malicious act is like a drop added to an invisible scale. At first, it may seem as though there are no consequences, that everything is static. But eventually, the scale adjusts. Divine justice doesn't just happen out of the blue. It often begins subtly, as those who act with malice experience small disruptions, failing relationships, missed opportunities, or persistent dissatisfaction. What once seemed like their triumph begins to crumble. Meanwhile, you rise, not because you sought revenge, but because divine justice doesn't just correct, it elevates. It's as if the universe wants to make it clear to everyone that what is meant for you cannot be taken away. This justice is not about revenge, it's about balance. What was taken from you is returned in abundance. The pain you endured transforms into wisdom, strength, and clarity. And those who attacked you start to realize that the seeds of harm they planted are now growing, producing a harvest far more intense than they expected. But how this balance leads to not just restoration, but the beginning of a new era, a rebirth that transforms your trials into triumphs. Rebirth as the ultimate victory. The journey of a chosen one doesn't end with overcoming challenges or witnessing divine justice. These moments are merely the beginning of something far greater, a rebirth. This is when you transition from being someone who endured adversity to someone who has been transformed by it. Rebirth isn't just about survival, it's about becoming. Every blow you endured, every tear you shed, every night you spent feeling alone, all of it was a refining process. Just like a diamond is shaped under intense pressure, your essence has been purified. You're no longer the same person who started this journey. You are stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true self. This transformation is undeniable. It's not just something you feel, it's something everyone around you can see. People begin to notice a shift in your energy, your presence, and how you navigate the world. What once was doubt has become clarity. What was fear is now courage. And what felt like an uncertain path has become a purpose so clear it's impossible to ignore. Consider the phoenix, the mythical bird that rises from its ashes. It doesn't fear the fire because it knows the flames are part of its renewal. Similarly, you didn't just survive the challenges, you emerged stronger, more confident, and more connected to who you are meant to be. What often feels like an ending is, in fact, a beginning. Each challenge you faced becomes part of a larger story, a story of growth, transformation, and inspiration. And it's not just your story, it's a beacon for others walking through their own struggles. You become living proof that pain is not the end but a path to something extraordinary. But rebirth doesn't mean there will be no more challenges. In fact, they may continue, but you'll face them differently. You've already seen what you're capable of overcoming. You've already felt the divine force guiding you. And now, more than ever, you know you're not walking this path alone. With this rebirth comes a new sense of purpose. What once held you back now propels you forward. What once limited you now empowers you. And as you step into this new chapter of your life, each step declares that what was destined for you was never out of reach. Your journey isn't just about surviving, it's about rebirth, growth, and becoming everything you were always meant to be. Every challenge, every adversity, was a stepping stone that shaped and prepared you for something far greater. Now, you're not just stronger, you're living proof that nothing can extinguish the light of someone who is chosen. Remember this: what was meant to harm you has become the foundation for your greatest triumph. Divine justice never fails, and what you've experienced so far is only the beginning of something extraordinary. Walk forward with faith, knowing that the best is yet to come. Because in the end, the chosen don't just endure, they rise.